Now that is how you cap off a crime picture. An electrifying climax, complete with a visual punchline, in neon no less. I don't think I oversold it at all, the fun Roy Del Ruth and Burt Glennon had making this picture. Red Light was Del Ruth's only foray into film noir, and it feels like he's distilling all of the era's visual tropes and iconography into these 83 minutes. This film routinely gets the 2-star treatment in movie guides, but I absolutely love it for the pictorial panache and the way it utilizes George Raft's tight-lipped toughness to almost comical effect. You may have noticed in the opening titles a story credit for Donald Barry. Yes, it is that, Donald Red Barry, best known for playing Red Ryder in the 1940 Western serial. That's how he got the nickname Red. In addition to acting in B films in the 40s and 50s, Barry wrote original stories for 4 movies. This was the first, which he called This Guy Gideon, a title that makes more sense than Red Light, though it's obviously not as provocative or enticing. Now, I have a suspicion this movie got renamed to capitalize on its co-star, Virginia Mayo. Her previous picture was White Heat, a big hit for Warner Brothers. Although it was released only weeks prior to Red Light, White Heat had generated a huge advance buzz for the intensity of Jimmy Cagney's performance and Raoul Walsh's powerhouse direction. In that film, Mayo had one of her rare provocative roles as Cagney's sexy wife, who's cheating on him with another gang member. United Artists created posters for Red Light that made it look like she was still playing her White Heat character, taking everything Raft has. When, of course, she's the chaste and sensible good girl. Now, despite having a face and figure that PR hacks love to describe as a pinup come to life, Virginia Mayo rarely played the sexy bad girl. Even in the noir films that tried to sell her that way, like Flaxie Martin and Backfire, she usually turned out to be a wholesome and good-hearted woman. She seemed more at home opposite Danny Kaye in pictures like Wonder Man, The Kid from Brooklyn, and The Secret Life of Walter Mitty than she ever did in film noir. Although Raymond Burr and Henry Morgan pretty much steal this show from a colorful cast of bit players, let's acknowledge versatile Gene Lockhart for his role as the wonderfully named Warnie Hazard. You'd think that a guy with the name Warnie Hazard would know better than to walk around a desolate trucking yard at night. You have to admire an actor who signs on for a role this thankless, when later that year he would embark on a Broadway run playing Willie Loman in Death of a Salesman. Lockhart was the rare Hollywood actor of the time making movies alongside his daughter, June Lockhart. She'd become one of the most familiar faces on American TV screens, starring in Lassie and Lost in Space. But she left a little mark in film noir as well, appearing in Bury Me Dead and T-Men, both in 1947. Next week, I've got perhaps the most astounding film I've yet shown on Noir Alley. It's a noir horror hybrid called The Housemaid, made in South Korea in 1960, and generally considered one of, if not the greatest and most influential Korean film of all time. So if you like dark stories that are provocative and unpredictable, see you back here at Bar 355 next week. And if you're watching this in a hotel room, you may want to check out the Gideon Bible in the nightstand. No telling what you might find in there. See you in the shadows.